Hello, folks. Quinnstorm here with Mr. Scott from Dr. Dog. How you doing?
Good, man. How you doing?
You doing all right?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Fresh from Coachella
Fresh from Coachella.
to this hot environment again.
Yeah, from one hotbed to another.
Exactly. How was Coachella?
It was cool. It was cool. It was awful.
It was awful.
I don't know.
Just
it's
everything, just a festival.
It's hard to. I don't know how other bands feel about playing festivals, but it's hard to feel like there's so much fury and chaos going into the whole thing that it's hard to kind of find that relaxed place where you feel like you can be yourself. And
why did I come here again, kind of thing?
well, like just hanging out's cool and seeing the music and all, but I mean, as far as playing goes, you're just kind of thrown up there, and the open air, obviously, you lose a sense of your context a little easier, and the focus. You got to work harder to stay focused.
Right.
And then there's the other little things with a show like tonight, you can come in, you can hang out in the room, you can turn your amp on,
right.
You can check out your monitors, you can get a real feel for the place so that when you hop up there, you're kind of home.
It's
a
back
little
in
bit.
comfort zone.
Yeah.
It's not so rushed.
Yeah, but at the festivals, it's it's flipping a coin, man.
Right.
It could be a disaster or it could be awesome, and it's kind of out of your control, so you just roll with whatever. In my case, it happened to be kind of a disaster, but definitely rolled with it. And people...
I read a lot of good reviews.
Yeah,
from
the
set.
Responses seem to be...
Really good.
Far from my own response, so I mean...
It's funny how that works, huh?
Yeah, you just gotta whatever, nobody knows.
Yeah, exactly. Who's really listening out there anyway?
Yeah. I watched McCartney play, and it was cool. It was kind of an emotional roller coaster. It's weird. You don't know what to expect, and he's entered into this domain where it's almost it's not like other people on a stage playing music. It's something else.
This mystery, what's going to happen, kind of thing. And he played for 2.5 hours.
Played for a long time, and it was really cool. I mean, I definitely was it's really feeling it in a lot of ways I didn't anticipate. And the kind of the best part was just being in the crowd, because you had there was a lady next to me just crying when he's played Long and Winding Road, and then there was these little kids with their dad who were singing along, and there was these older folks who were bragging about they were at Shea Stadium and stuff, and it was just a crowd experience, unified, unlike any other show I've ever been to. Just the shared unilateral love of the Beatles and Paul McCartney, and so the atmosphere was great, and he hasn't. I mean, his voice is just completely intact, and that's a real achievement. I mean, I just turned 30, and I feel like I'm half as good a singer as I was 5 years ago. And so it's really an incredible achievement.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are always compared to the Beatles and the band, the Beach Boys, and that's all well and good, and I understand all music's derivative, but who's somebody that has really influenced you that's never come up in conversation, or some Jake Leg like me has never asked you about? Is there somebody that's...
I mean, elements come from all over, Sure, it's
a
real pastiche.
Too much.
No, not in the least. I was just saying that to illustrate that there are many of what you're asking for. I really loved I really love Pavement.
Awesome.
I always loved Pavement, and I feel like there's kind of a spirit that they represent as a band that might be more prevalent in us than any kind of sonic elements or songwriting cues or whatever. There's a certain down-to-earth quality about them.
Absolutely.
And really understated but really powerful guitar playing. They really play the guitars, Ariel Pink.
Cool.
And our Stevie Moore, those guys, the kind of homespun ethic of that kind of music, those little personal masterpieces, real kind of outsider art. I don't know, Tom Waits, and I mean, it spans the board, Graham Parsons and Joanna Newsom and Neil Young and M. Ward, and I mean, new bands, My Morning Jacket. I mean, there's so many new bands that really push you to do better because they are.
Sure. And how great was it? I mean, and Jacket and M. Ward were instrumental in getting having some feet under you guys, right?
Oh yeah. They helped us out a lot. My Morning Jacket in particular. I mean, the debt is immeasurable. I mean, it goes beyond them just taking us on a tour. I mean, what was required of us to even go on that tour was extremely pivotal in the band's history. Like, you know, it's great that we got to go on tour and play for their audiences and get kind of recognition that way. But in order to even do that, we had to even first decide who's in the band.
Right.
Like, what are our songs?
Yeah, how are we going to get from
What's an
city?
amp?
Right.
You know, like the entire inner workings of being a band had to come to be as a result of being asked to do that tour. And then, of course,
thank God for that ask, right?
Yeah, it really lit a fire under us. We were just kind of hiding in the basement, a bunch of cockroaches for too long, and that really like put things in a structured way, and it helped us. We'd been recording forever and ever and ever. That's always been our thing, but we never felt the need to make an album. It wasn't about making albums. It was about having recording as a part of your way of life. And our first album is called Toothbrush. And Toothbrush came to be because I was going to see My Morning Jacket, and I wanted to give them some of our music because I was so in love with their music.
Sure.
And so I took 10 songs off all these old tapes and put them on a CD and gave them to Jim. I compiled those songs only to give to Jim. And then that compilation, once Jim had it, is what caused him to ask us to go on tour. So we just made like 50 more copies and made that our album. So he's kind of responsible for that album.
That's cool.
And then after that tour, we wanted to make a more proper representation of our band on album, and made Easy Beat in between the two tours they asked us to do. So by the time we went on the second tour, we had Easy Beat for sale, and we were just making them ourselves. We didn't have any label or anything like that. But so in a way, he was those guys were kind of a catalyst for our first two albums, and obviously getting us on the road was a catalyst for everything that's come since. I mean, playing for people.
Snowball.
So yeah, they really hats off to those guys. They really and I'm not biased when I say that they're, the greatest working band right now. I mean, it's just ambition, and it's like all heart, and it's all so chock full of integrity, and it's so clearly a journey for what they want out of making music and nothing more. And
Scott, I'm not going to take your time any longer. That was a great little
thanks, man.
Journey of Dr. Dog.